The markets were really popping off yesterday. We need to take a look and see what is going on. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. And do you think if Fred Flintstone ever couldn't use his foot-powered car that it could be towed? Also, is that where foot-pounds of torque comes from? All right, we're going to take a technical analysis view of SPY and QQQ. Also going to give an update on Enphase, Tesla, and Nvidia. And I'll tell you what, Tesla and Nvidia, the technicals on those are kind of important that we watch those. And then I'll also give an update on Carbon and American Airlines, since I mentioned those the other day as well. So let me pop this up here so we can take a look. And you can see this sort of rising wedge formation we've been on going all the way back to the pandemic here on SPY. As a matter of fact, this divergence that you see on here going all the way back to 2018, when we put that up on the monthly chart, we actually have some bearish divergence between the price action and the momentum that we see. And here I'll drop out to the monthly chart just real quick so you can see that take place. And let me get rid of some of these other ones that are on here. So what you're seeing right now, there we go. On the monthly chart is where we see the highest peak here, a slightly lower peak there, and then the lowest peak here. We didn't go overbought yet on a monthly basis. We actually just barely kind of scratched into it, if you will, and then got rejected, sold off a little bit. So that's where we currently find ourselves when we look at SPY. And then when we go down to the daily level on this, you can see yesterday we did have a strong day in the market, going up over a full percent for the S&P. We'll see where the pre-market puts us or where we open today. And then also volume, not the biggest volume supported move. We actually had a much better one on the 31st of May, but we'll still take this price action. I did move this trend line up a little bit now that we have 2 touches on it so far. That way it props it up a little bit better, and then connecting back to the prices that we had back in 2021 and into early 2022 for SPY. So what we're watching for right now, especially as we see, I can put another trend line on here for you, as we see these prices here going this way, as we're kind of squeezing, we can break up above this top trend line just because I have this on here, and we can potentially see some sort of bearish reversal pattern coming here. It doesn't mean that we're actually going to get that now or soon, but it is something we're going to be watchful for. When we go out to QQQ, we get a lot the same view on this one with some more recent divergence that we see happening here. We might be able to extend that back a little bit further. There we go. Rising price action, slightly falling momentum, and we actually have some room to the upside on this one, but this is, in my opinion, an Nvidia-led rally, so up 2% yesterday, so giving back a little bit today would be pretty understandable, and we'll have to see what that looks like. Like I said, I'll give it some commentary on Nvidia coming up soon. I want to touch on Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin still getting rejected off this trend line, and also having confluence pretty much with this line of resistance right here at about 71.8, and then up here is the all-time high that we have coming off of that. So the all-time high 73,794 for Bitcoin set back here in mid-March, and so far we're up in bullish territory on the daily chart. Really need to break up above that resistance. I think that we still have the potential to do so, especially if we stay up above this trend line and up above the 50 EMA and SMA that we have on here. Enphase getting close to my 138 that I have on here, and momentum looking pretty good so far, not in overbought territory yet. Yesterday, nice day in the market. Let me get rid of this for you so that's off the screen so you can see this candle a little bit better, and that you can see we're still getting a little bit of rejection still right around that 135 mark, and then we sold off into the close at about 133, and the pre-market hours were just a little bit south of that, but we're above the 50 and the 200 on this one. So let me actually take away the EMAs for a moment so we can see the other trend lines on here. We actually have finally our golden cross moment happen between May 28th and May 29th. The 50 is now above the 200s. That golden cross that I was talking about finally came to pass, and we were able to capitalize on this over in the Discord. If you're interested in seeing my buys and sells, by the way, there's a link for the Patreon down in the description. Click that, sign up, and head over to the Discord. You can see that. Plus, I just put out some technicals on a few more stocks that I don't have time for in this video. You can check that out in the Discord as well. Like I said, that link's available through the Patreon. Moving on from there, this is something I shared in the Discord. This is part of those technicals. Look at this narrowing that we have for Tesla's price action. And this goes all the way back from this last pop that we had on the 29th of April, and then all the way through May, not doing much of anything, getting really narrow-bodied candles now, and also just dancing along the 50 for the RSI. This is still a coin flip. And we actually have a pretty significant catalyst coming up on June the 13th. We have the vote on Elon Musk's pay package. If that's something that gets shot down, that could increase the likelihood that he doesn't stick around at Tesla. At least that's something that the market may interpret it as. And if that's the case, that could be a bearish thing for the stock. The approval for that payment package could be something that's bullish for the stock. Elon Musk is shooting for that 25% ownership of Tesla. And I think that this pay package would put him up somewhere around 22% of that pay of ownership of Tesla. He wants that 25% to go full force into AI, as he's boasted before, and this would get him much closer to being there. And then that could also be something that would encourage him to stay around Tesla longer, and that could be bullish for the stock. So we have that catalyst, and then don't forget about the July 2nd report that we get that talks about the Q2 deliveries for Tesla. That's also going to be a catalyst. And then the next one that we have after that is likely the earnings, followed by full self-driving in August. So that lays out the whole map. So middle of June, beginning of July, end of July, and then beginning to middle of August is what we have to look forward to for Tesla. Now, Nvidia, brace yourself here. Check out the 4-hour chart that we have on Nvidia. And we've seen this formation before, the rising wedge formation. We could still break out of this. By the way, my 1250 price prediction that I had on Nvidia, let's go to the daily chart just to see this real quick. So I said that we could possibly see 1250 to 1500 over the next 12 months. Well, it definitely didn't take that long, at least in the after hours and pre-market hours, to hit that 1250. We actually did get there during that time. Pre-market right now, 1242. So we'll see if we hit that during the regular trading session. And then 1500 is all the way up here. With such strong price action, it partially leads me to believe that we could possibly sell off. We have today and we have tomorrow, then we have the 10-to-1 reverse stocks. I'm sorry, not reverse, just regular stock split, where you're going to have 10 shares of Nvidia for every one that you had previously. So cutting the price by a factor of 10. So cutting that stock price, but still maintaining the value. This could be something that leads to that little bit of a sell-off that we actually, from that bullishness that's expected from the stock split, gets priced in, that we could see that being taken today or tomorrow in the market. If we don't see that, we have room in this formation up to about 1300, 1340 is about where we'd be looking for it. Breaking down below this bottom trend line, by the way, is a bearish thing where we could see that dropping back down. Now, mind you, this is a 4-hour chart, so that would be bearish on a 4-hour basis, not necessarily bearish for Nvidia overall. I do think that there will be significant buying opportunities. I don't think that will stay at this price the entire time. I still think over the next 12 months that we see some volatility that's going to bring in some buying opportunities and also give us that push up to that $1,500 mark, potentially, well, on a split adjusted basis, $150, since it'll be post split. I think that we could definitely see that coming to pass sometime over those next 12 months. So Carvana, this thing was about 108 when I said that we could see a push up from here. Based off the Fibonacci's, you can go back and watch my previous video for further technicals, but I do want to give an update on this, that we did get our bounce the last 2 days in the market, in the pre-market hours, pushing up to 108. I said that we could see 110 to 113 based off of what we saw from the Fibonacci retracement for this one. And right now being at 108, we're getting close to that one. And so for Carvana, if you're able to follow that, and I hope that you were able to, if you're able to follow that for Carvana and it was something that you took advantage of, let me know down in the comments that you were able to capitalize based off that information that I brought to you. So then American Airlines, this one still hasn't moved off the bottom yet. This bottom trend line that I have here, again, check out my previous video, the one before this one. I think I put it out on Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday that I put that video out. This trend line goes all the way back. There we go. Like I can zoom out. There we go. Let's go to the weekly chart because we're not going to see it on the daily on this view. There we go. This goes all the way back to 2008, to the Great Recession times is what we're looking at for that trend line. And we're dancing along that support right now. So I think that we could do one of two things. One, we could take a significant bounce from this level. And I think that that's definitely a possibility, especially if we fill that gap coming up in the near term. So I have a call option out for that. And then I also think that if we come down and retest support, if we break this support, we also have a significant drop that we could see, given how long-term support that has been and how much it's held through. It's held through the Great Recession. It's held through other sell-offs such as COVID, and then also going back to what we had in October of 2023 when we saw that extended sell-off also take place. So we'll see if this is the time that we break down through or if it holds and we get a significant bounce coming off of this bottom trend line. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed that information I have for you. I hope that you're able to use it well with your decisions that you make as part of your due diligence. If you are able to capitalize, like I said, let me know in the comments. If you want to see more of my buys and sells, more of my technicals, you can do that by clicking the link for the Patreon down in the description. Come on over and join me and my community members over there at the Patreon, in the Discord as well. And then if you want to learn to do technical analysis like I do, there's a link for that as well in the description. Go ahead and click on that and learn how to bring power to your portfolio through technical analysis. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.